Hey, how's it going? This is gonna be either just for me or I'm gonna post it on my YouTube channel. But basically, what this is gonna be is I'm gonna do a dev blog kind of series as I work on this VR project within Unity. And kind of the whole reason I'm thinking about doing this is that like I come home, I work like a job as a developer, and I work all day, and I come home and I never want to program, and I never have any motivation. So I come home and lay in bed for 6 hours and do nothing. So I think like if I do a little vlog, this kind of garbage, it'll like give me more motivation to come home and do it after work. Especially like if you've ever coded before, or like you're a developer, like after staring at it for 8 hours, the last thing you want to do sometimes is come home and do it. So maybe if I just tick away at it a little bit here and there, I'll actually start making some good progress. Also, this is kind of like every once in a while I upload YouTube videos and they're like a time capsule for me. So I doubt anyone will watch it, but 5 years down the line, I can kind of see where I was at as a programmer and as a person. I got a little list of things to talk about as like my intro here. Um, yeah, so and I think like if you're not doing anything and working like a 9 to 5 job, you just kind of zone out. Like a month goes by, so it's really really easy to procrastinate because you just put it off and you just come home and do nothing, and So yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna start off. I kind of have like a little project here. So basically, this project is just kind of like a tinkering area for me with VR. I've worked on a fair bit of VR projects actually for work, but in my free time, I haven't really done much. So this is kind of just for me to figure out Steam VR 2.0 because all of my stuff I've worked on are with VRTK. So I just kind of wanted to start off by writing like a whole system to do everything. So my goal, I'll open up some of the code here, is to write all the interactions myself. So like when you grab something, two-handed grabs, like if you wanted to have climbing, I'll write that myself. But I just kind of want to write like a VR playground from scratch without using any like I won't use like Steam VR, like Steam VR's pre-made stuff. I will use their input manager. I'll open that guy up. Um, Actually, what did I call it? I wrote an input manager myself. Sorry, it's been about 2 weeks since I've actually looked at this project. This is why I'm doing this. So, I think interaction managers. So it's just an input manager for everything. So I kind of have something set up that you can use, like that I can use, so I can write all the functions quite easily now with what I have built. Um, what I've actually done, which is not much, is like basic interactable objects in VR. So I have an interact object here. You grab it, you throw it. And I did a one-handed weapon with it uses the interact grab script and then the VR one hand grab. It basically it's just a simple pistol. You can like grab a clip and reload it. So just something small. Yeah. And the last thing, and this is kind of why I gave up, is I was working on a two-handed grab with because I want to do some sort of assault rifle. I'm not actually trying to make a game, but I wouldn't mind. Just I like making guns. It's fun to do. So I kind of want to have like a two-handed gun you shoot, and like you could like cock it and stuff like that. So basically, I'm going to use this free assault rifle I found as a starter pack, and then kind of my idea is to get my interact grab, and then the interact grab secondary attach, and they're gonna. I want to like have things build on each other in layers. So like, it's a lot of it based off of what I've seen with VRTK. I love the way they do their things, but I want to know it inside and out myself. So I've written two-handed guns before with VRTK, and that kind of handles everything for me. So I don't actually have to think about it. But one of the big issues I'm facing with this is kind of the rotating point when you grab it is at the wrong spot. So I gotta play around with the code. I was actually thinking about scrapping all this because it's definitely not right. Um, I'm just kind of making the transform actually just look at your hand, and it just doesn't seem to work correctly. So yeah, that's kind of like a base of the project. It's just simple stuff. I'll actually do a little demo. I'll kind of show it off quickly. Hopefully my headset's alive. Hopefully my controllers aren't dead. Let's see. They might be dead. Fuck me. Oh, no, they're not dead. Thank God. Okay. So. Just get out of this pause menu. If I can. Please don't be dead. Okay. So. I'll show the gun. Pretty simple gun. Don't mind the muzzle flare or anything. It's just kind of temporary placeholders, so you can press a button, it'll drop the clip out when you're done. You can grab this guy, put it in, you reload your gun. Yeah, so that's the interact grab. The throwing, actually, quite surprised. I had to code myself actually to add the force back to it. Oh, and I wrote all the character controllers too, so like it's just a pretty simple rigid body controller, but it was kind of a difficult challenge because I've never done a rigid body controller in VR. Anyways, so yeah, this is my two-handed grab right now. When you grab on with the second hand, the body follows the controller, and it feels okay, but it's grabbing at the wrong point. So I need to play with that, and then I think from there I can code a nice little gun. Anyways. Set that all down. Yeah, so kind of making this video to just motivate myself by talking about what I'm doing, get me thinking about it. And I might do a lot of work on it tonight. I think this two-handed grab is a lot harder than I might think it is, so I might polish up the shooting today. I don't know. I'm gonna take I'm gonna turn off the video and like write down my ideas of what I should work on next, and then I'm gonna make a board and have a plan, so then I can come and update and actually have a goal of where I'm gonna go. I think one of the biggest issues I find with home projects is I don't set any goals for myself. I just tinker, and then nothing ever gets done. I think I kind of need to map out like a sprint and figure out how I'm gonna do everything. Anyways, I'm gonna write down all my thoughts, and then I'll come back and update with like a board and everything, exactly what I'm gonna do. Okay, so I just kind of sat here for a few seconds off the top of my head, and I made, just let me minimize this tab because it's bugging me, a 5-task, and I'm going to think of a lot more once I actually start coding this, but it's been a little bit since I actually worked on it. What does it say? 24 days. Seriously, when you just work, you zone out, and like a month goes by. It fucking sucks. That's why I'm doing this. Anyways, so I want to create a damage system. I've never actually really had to make a good damage system before. I just kind of make guns, you shoot it, and you're like, cool, I'm done with this. So I'm going to add a damage system. Either enemies or objects get destroyed. First, that'll be like the last thing on kind of my to-do list. Mainly because I don't need enemies. I'm not making a game. So maybe we'll have targets you can destroy or something. It'll probably just be a shooting range where I can go tinker. So what my to-do list for today is going to be is I'm going to add this and the raycasting. So weapons don't even raycast. You shoot the pistol, it doesn't do anything. It just does all the sound effects and smoke and shit, but it's pointless. So I'm just going to have it raycast, and then we're going to add the bullet decals. So it's going to shoot, bullet decal is going to go where it raycast. Pretty simple. I can probably do that in an hour or two, which is kind of why I chose those as my task today. It'll get me back into working on this. I'll be finding bugs, thinking about things. The character controller definitely has to be ironed out, but I can't remember what's wrong with it, so this will help me figure out what's wrong with it. I think it gets stuck sometime, but I can't remember exactly. But this gives me, I gotta go to the gym around 7:30, so I have about 2 hours to try to finish these tasks. The two-handed weapon system I'll do after. I might have to rewrite it. That's why I don't want to do it today. So I'll put that on the back burner for now, and hopefully I can figure out a system, because the two-handed weapon system opens up like a can of worms, because then we can start having fun with guns. I really like, for example, if you play Pavlov or Onward, like when you reload a gun, you like pull it open and do all the like little bits and pieces, and that's kind of where the refined reloading comes in. I want like you shoot a bolt action rifle, you have to like pull it up, or like you cock a gun before you fire it, like stuff like that. So that'll all come with the two-handed system, but I'm going to finish the base of the shooting first, which makes sense before I go into like the more complicated stuff. All right. Just a quick little update. Did my laundry, go me. But also, I was like, I don't really know what the render pipeline is, all that new lightweight render pipeline stuff with 2017. I was like, fuck it, this doesn't matter. I'll change this project over to the new lightweight pipeline. And don't do that, I guess, if you don't have your project already set up for it. Because you're going to lose all your textures. I don't even want to think of, does it like ruin my particle effects? Like, where's my gun? Effects, white smoke. Oh, that might still work. I might keep it, but just so you know, if you're gonna change your like render pipeline to like the new stuff just to see it, it will break everything. The ground was purple, but then I changed it, so hopefully I can fix this. Anyways, all right, so I didn't get too much done, but I did what I said I was gonna do. So you can, I'm gonna minimize this. I don't like looking at myself. So you can raycast. I'll go to that code. So we'll go to your one-handed gun. Get rid of that comment. But it's super simple. It's just, you know, a basic raycast. I made some public variables. I'm trying to make my scripts as reusable as possible. So they're all public things. So like, if you were to put this on any weapon, it should work. So it has the range, what raycast layers, and something to ignore. Usually there is. Like you can't shoot yourself and stuff like that. The raycast points. So you could just do the transform of the gun, but sometimes I have weird objects and stuff, so I like to have a custom point that I set up for the raycast to come out of. And then I added the bullet decal system, which I basically, if you haven't done decals, there's various ways to do it. You can initialize a new like a prefab from scratch, but I don't like initializing stuff at runtime. So what I did is I made a decal manager, which is really simple. It's got all the PNGs as a child. Cool little trick that someone showed me is you can take these, so like we make an array, and then I'll populate the array here. So I count how many children there is. Then I set my index size to that, and I set the array to the index size. And then from there, I can populate the array and add each one to the array. And I put it in the reset function, mainly because if we use a different kind of decal or a different weapon or something like that, we can do this again, make 1 billion children, hit reset, does it all for us. Then I just wrote this function here. And basically all this does is you send it the hit from the raycast, spawns it at the correct position based off of the normal map. We want to modify all that just to kind of like if it's a bumpy surface and stuff, it's not perfect, it's not wrapping against it, but that'll use that. And then the same thing from here, we want the rotation based off of the hit. So we have it facing us, which actually caused me a bit more trouble than I thought. I've done this before. Oh, and this stupid thing, I don't have anything with health, but in the shooting script, I'm gonna in the future, actually maybe not tomorrow, I'll do the two-handed stuff tomorrow, but I'm gonna have, you know, it subtract damage, and I want it to be based off of what you hit too, so I'll figure out a system for that based off a headshot, arm shot, whatever. I'm not sure if I created any more code other than that. Pretty simple stuff. Honestly, I find the hardest challenge of coding after a work day is that I'm so exhausted. I can't think right now. I feel super dumb. It's only 7 o'clock and I'm ready for bed. But this is kind of a little bit of progress, more than I normally would, so I'm pretty stoked on it. Yeah, I definitely want to fix up the effects on the guns I have right now. It looks ridiculous. So I'll actually show the decals quickly. They're terrible. It's just a PNG I found off Google. I honestly don't care about effects. I'm doing this as a coding exercise, so you know. So, one hand, two hands. So yeah, you grab your gun, shoot. You see like the way the light is. I gotta fix all that. It's stuff I did in like 2 minutes, so it looks terrible. But yeah, it just creates a decal right where it is. Pretty simple. Is raycast. Now we got a raycast system, decal. We have weapon damage too, so we can subtract health, and then we can have damage multipliers based off of what you hit in the future. So it's a nice little basis for one-handed guns. What I could do in the future, which I think I've done in the past, is off of every hit you do, you have like a range of rotation and size. So like it won't be the same size every time. It'll be like slightly smaller, slightly bigger. You don't want like that, but and then you can rotate it slightly so it looks different. But you know, I'm not gonna go make a bunch of effects. I hate doing GUI stuff in modeling, so I'm just here to code, kind of play around, and get a little better at it, I guess. Anyways, I think this is everything I wanted to talk about. So, peace.